Government can sometimes improve market outcomes.
Economists believe that markets are a very powerful way of organizing a society's scarce resources. But that doesn't mean that market outcomes are always absolutely perfect. And there's two essential reasons why the government might intervene. One is the market might fail to allocate resources efficiently because of some market failure, or the market may fail to allocate resources in an equitable way. So the government might want to intervene either to correct the market failure or to achieve a better distribution of income.
One reason markets fail to work efficiently is due to what economists call an externality.
An externality is when a company or an individual creates something that has an impact beyond the immediate buyers and sellers of that product.
If I buy a ghetto blaster and I put my favorite tape into it and I play it loudly, I don't have to pay any price when I play it loudly in a public space, for instance, and I affect other people's well-being or I affect other people's ability to enjoy their music from their ghetto blaster. So the fact that I don't have to pay anything to them means that the market price that I pay for my ghetto blaster and I pay for my music tape is really too low compared to the societal price of my enjoying my consumption from these two items.
Air pollution is an example of an externality. When a power plant generates electricity, for example, its smokestacks may be belching out smoke that is carried for miles and miles. That smoke might be causing health problems for people.
The company doesn't pay for that. The market doesn't force it to pay for that. And yet there may be people choking in the streets. There may be people dying of emphysema. So there is a role for the government at that point to say, is there any way to make the situation better, to make the company somehow bear the costs, the social costs imposed on the community? Regulators in the economy over the last 30 years have tried to figure out how to handle that situation.
Another possible cause of market failure is unchecked market power, such as a monopoly.
Market power occurs when one of the players in a market, either a firm or a person who's selling his services, is large relative to the market and is able to control some part of the market and manipulate prices. A good example is airline hubs. Airline hubs exist for a very good technical reason. It helps an airline if it can have flights that are all going out of one city because it helps coordinate passengers. So there's a good reason for airline hubs to exist. But if you live in a city, say Pittsburgh, where a major airline has its hub, it's very hard to choose to fly on an airline that doesn't have its hub in Pittsburgh. And that means that the airline that has its hub in Pittsburgh has market power and generally can set the prices a little bit higher for local Pittsburgh residents than it would be able to set the prices if those people could choose among 10 airlines equally well or 20 airlines equally well.
Your local television cable company may be another example, if it's the only supplier in your neighborhood.
What that means is that that cable company has tremendous power over the price it charges you. And that means that on its own, the cable company is not going to charge what price it would under competition, but charge a much higher price. And that leaves open the possibility of market failure, and it leaves open the possibility that the government can step in and improve the situation.
Often, government does step in. In 1999, the federal government helped satellite television companies become more competitive with the cable companies. It did so by ending restrictions against transmitting local television channels by satellite. Another reason government intervenes in the economy is to promote greater equity or fairness. Our market economy left on its own doesn't guarantee that wealth gets distributed evenly. A market system rewards people according to their ability to produce things that other people are willing to pay for. Professional athletes command million-dollar salaries. Childcare workers are often poorly paid. The invisible hand of the market doesn't ensure that everyone receives enough to eat or adequate health care.
The role of public policy is often, I think, as a check on markets. Some people believe that public policy should be designed to promote market activity and let the market find a way no matter what happens. winner take all. Some other people believe that markets, because they have no conscience and they may not necessarily trust individuals to make the right social choices, will impose various ways of redistributing wealth, from taxes to promoting programs such as affirmative action to setting minimum wages. These type of social public policy programs are designed to be a balancing effort against unchecked market power.
The problem is when you find the market making a mistake, when you find a market imperfection, it's very tempting to say, well, government, fix this. But it simply raises the question, can the problem be fixed? How can the government solve the problem? And that's where economists over the last 50 years have changed their point of view. They used to be more eager for the government to step in and correct the problem. Now they recognize how complex a situation it is whenever the government does get involved.
We began this video talking about how individuals make economic decisions. We've just been looking at how people interact with one another in the marketplace. All those decisions and interactions make up the economy. Now, we'll look at the economy as a whole.